Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Chris Carriasso to defeat Demetrius Johnson. I'm kidding. I'm talking about Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo, main event for UFC 288. This is a quarter of the way to being a super fight. Probably not halfway, but there's something here. This fight is not your typical title fight. I do think Aljamain Sterling stands to gain the most from this fight professionally. Financially, of course, that's probably Sean O'Malley, which will be the next fight for whoever wins this one. But Henry Cejudo is the legend here. The best fighter he's fought, better than TJ Dillashaw, Piotr Jan. And there's a lot to gain here professionally. This is Triple C. Double UFC champ and the Olympic champ. And for Henry Cejudo, he's already made enough history where he's a living legend. But beating Aljamain Sterling, the guy who's taken out the top bantamweights of his day, which is not Cejudo's day. Cejudo didn't have to fight Piotr Jan and Corey Sandhagen and TJ. Oh, yeah, he did fight TJ Dillashaw. But anyway, Aljamain Sterling, this would be probably Cejudo. I guess not Cejudo's biggest victory. It's got to be Mighty Mouse Johnson, but it'll be a damn good victory and just the perfect way to extend his streak. Either one of these guys is going to extend an awesome winning streak. Aljamain Sterling's on a roll, championship wins over Piotr Jan, TJ Dillashaw, and the Corey Sandhagen win was non-title fight, but it's in the same streak. And Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, Dominic Cruz, Marlon Moraes, and Mighty Mouse Johnson. Just incredible streaks for both guys. Of course, Cejudo's 36 now, and he's coming off a 3-year layoff. I just want to mention that, just to let you know that I'm aware of it. And now I can get into why I'm picking him to win. No, but I am picking Cejudo. I'm picking Cejudo. I just think, if he is firing on all cylinders and he is deciding to step into the cage and get back into the USADA pool and all this, it's a plan that's been in motion for some time, obviously. I think he's going to step in there in his prime, and I think he's a bad matchup for Aljamain Sterling. Of course, Aljamain Sterling is an incredible fighter, and I think he's one of the few guys that could take Henry Cejudo down. And if he does, I really expect him to get a finish. I think he's got the most dangerous top game easily in the bantamweight division. The exact opposite of Merab, his teammate, who is, every much an awesome fighter as Aljo. But Aljamain Sterling has incredible grappling. And when I say he could take Cejudo down, I don't think he's going to win a conventional wrestling battle, shoot a double, tap his head and shoot a double leg or something. I think Aljo, to get Cejudo down, he's going to shoot a double, miss, but turn a corner and lock in a hook on the far side with his legs. Aljo's a really good back taker, really slick. And I'm aware Cejudo's aware of that, but still, Aljamain Sterling's an exceptional guy and very tricky and crafty and can make shit happen. And if he is on top of Cejudo, with Cejudo being a wrestler who's not used to being smothered and dominated, but I think that combined with Aljo's overall offensive prowess, I think there's a good chance he gets Cejudo out of there. But I'm taking Cejudo to win the wrestling battle, which makes that largely moot. I do think they could hit scrambles. Aljo could get him down and whatever. But in general, I'm expecting Cejudo to win the wrestling battle and keep this fight on the feet, which doesn't mean it's his fight. Aljamain Sterling could easily win a fight on the feet as well. Aljamain is a great fighter on the outside. He always has been. He's had really good kicks. And his striking has developed over the years where, I think I've mentioned this every time, but that Jimmy Rivera performance was the pivotal performance where it wasn't just kicks, and it became apparent that Aljamain Sterling is a very versatile fighter. And of course, Henry Cejudo had that performance when he fought Wilson Hayes many years ago. That was a fight where Henry Cejudo showed up to fight the jiu-jitsu guy, and everybody saw, okay, this is wrestling versus jiu-jitsu, and they looked up and saw a karate master. Henry Cejudo looked like fucking Ralph Macchio. And I should have said Daniel LaRusso. Either way, he looked awesome there. Got a big knockout in round 2. And that's where he got everybody's attention, including mine. And then he made the march to the title. And Henry Cejudo, even though striking has looked limited at times even since then against Marlon Moraes, Marlon Moraes is a guy that is a fucking monster on the feet, fighting anybody, unless you crack his chin. But still, Henry Cejudo's finest performance maybe came against Dominic Cruz, his last fight 3 years ago, where he won the fight pretty much with leg kicks. He won it with a knee at the end of round 2, of course, but the leg kicks really slowed down Dominic Cruz. He was beating up his legs and made Cruz look bewildered in round 1. And Cruz is not a guy who often gets bewildered. But Henry Cejudo really worked him in that first round, and it was very impressive because Dominic Cruz is a guy that many, myself included, expected to have a big advantage on the feet against Cejudo. And instead, it was a shutout pretty much from the beginning. I mean, Cruz fought his way back in round 2. It was, a good round, but in the end, he got knocked out in that round anyway. Henry Cejudo, I've never seen him out-wrestled. So even though I do think Aljo's the guy that could do it, I'm picking Henry to win the wrestling battle. And on the feet, I think Henry Cejudo, even though he's at a distinct physical disadvantage, giving up 3 inches of height and 4 inches of reach, he's the faster guy. He's the shorter, stronger guy, which means I think he's got more speed and power. I do think he's got enough power where he could scare Aljo out of the pocket and force Aljo to fight like he used to fight as a striker. Just a lot of movement and rangy kicks from the outside, which could be effective enough to win the fight again. But I'm taking Henry Cejudo to hurt Aljamain Sterling and to visibly score more points with his more powerful striking. I think Cejudo's sharp, and assuming the 3-year layoff and, 3 crucial years in his mid-30s isn't enough to turn him into a lesser fighter, I think the guy I saw against Dominic Cruz is going to beat Aljamain Sterling. And that's my pick. I'm going with Henry Cejudo. I have played his money line because I'm a degenerate through it in parlays. I've also played KO or decision, plus 110. Beefs up the money line a little bit. And I do think a submission is off the table in this fight for Henry Cejudo. He doesn't have one submission victory, and it stands to reason he's not going to get it against Aljamain Sterling. So watch him get a fucking triangle choker or something now. But Henry Cejudo by KO or decision. My pick, gun to my head, I'm going Cejudo by decision. Triple C, he's going to become quadruple C. Oh, no, maybe not. I think he has to beat Volkanovski to get that done. But I'm picking him to beat Aljo, which hurts my soul because I'm a big Aljo fan, and he doesn't live too far from me. Which means I got to watch my back because he might kick the shit out of me if he sees this video, which he won't, because nobody knows who the fuck I am, aside from you, which is why you should feel special. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out all my other videos.